Hello and welcome back to World History Explored. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the fascinating history of Belgium, a small but incredibly significant nation that has been called the crossroads of Europe and the battlefield of Europe. Belgium has played a pivotal role in European history, from ancient times to the modern era. Early beginnings. Long before Belgium existed as a nation, its lands were inhabited by various peoples. Archaeological evidence shows human presence in the region, dating back to at least 100,000 BC, with Neanderthal fossils discovered at Engis in the early 19th century. The earliest Neolithic farming technology in Northern Europe, the LBK culture, reached eastern Belgium around 5000 BC. Belgian LBK settlements were notable for their defensive walls around villages, suggesting conflict was common even then. The Neolithic flint mines of Spiens in central Wallonia remain an important archaeological site from this period. By the Bronze Age, starting around 1750 BC, Belgium's population began to increase permanently. The region saw the arrival of several successive European cultures. After Roman conquest, the region became part of the province of Gallia Belgica. Romanization took place primarily in the southern areas, while the northern territories, inhabited by tribes like the Menapii and Nervi, remained less developed economically and more resistant to Roman culture. Christianity was introduced during the late Roman period, with Saint Servatius becoming one of the first known bishops in the region, teaching in Tonrin by the mid-4th century. Middle Ages. As the Western Roman Empire declined, Germanic tribes came to dominate the region. The Franks settled in northern Belgium, while Wallonia remained more Romanized, though eventually coming under Frankish rule in the 5th century. This period established the linguistic boundary that persists to this day, with Germanic languages prevailing in the north and Romance languages in the south. Christianity spread throughout the region under the Merovingian dynasty, which was succeeded by the Carolingian dynasty, whose power base was in eastern Belgium. The famous Emperor Charlemagne, crowned by Pope Leo II in 800 AD, brought much of Europe under his rule. After his death, the Frankish lands were divided, with parts of present-day Belgium becoming part of the Holy Roman Empire and others falling under French influence. Feudal period. Through the early Middle Ages, the region that would become Belgium was divided into relatively independent feudal states. These included the County of Flanders, the Marquisate of Namur, the Duchy of Brabant, the County of Hainaut, the Duchy of Limburg, the County of Luxembourg, the Prince-Bishopric of Liege. The coastal County of Flanders became particularly wealthy through trade with England, France, and Germany. It developed into a cultural center, with cities like Ypres, Bruges, and Ghent obtaining their charters and building magnificent Gothic cathedrals and city halls. Meanwhile, the Hanseatic League stimulated trade throughout the region. Burgundian and Habsburg rule. By 1433, most of the territories of modern Belgium came under the control of Burgundy under Philip the Good. When Mary of Burgundy married Maximilian I, these lands became Habsburg territory. The 15th and 16th centuries, particularly during Burgundian rule, represented a golden age for the region. Cities like Tournai, Bruges, Ypres, Ghent, Brussels, and Antwerp became major European centers for commerce, industry, and art. The Flemish Primitives, a group of painters active in the southern Netherlands, produced masterpieces that are still celebrated today. In 1549, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V established the 17 provinces as a distinct entity through the Pragmatic Sanction. This included all of present-day Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and parts of northern France, the Dutch revolt, and Spanish Netherlands. Religious tensions came to a head in the 16th century when Philip II of Spain tried to suppress Protestantism in the Low Countries. This triggered the Dutch Revolt or 80 Years' War, 1568 to 1648. During this brutal conflict, the northern provinces, predominantly Protestant, eventually formed the Dutch Republic. The southern provinces, largely Catholic, remained under Spanish control as the Spanish Netherlands. The conflict was particularly devastating for the southern provinces. The Duke of Alba established the infamous Council of Blood, condemning thousands to death without due process. Cities like Antwerp were besieged and sacked, losing much of their population and economic prominence. 17th and 18th centuries. The 17th century saw continued warfare, with the Spanish Netherlands becoming a battleground in conflicts between France and the Dutch Republic. Despite this, Antwerp remained a major European center for art, with masters like Peter Paul Rubens and Van Dyck creating their Baroque masterpieces during this period. After the War of the Spanish Succession, the 1714 Treaty of Rastatt transferred the southern Netherlands to Austrian control, forming the Austrian Netherlands. Under Habsburg rule, the region experienced the so-called Belgian miracle of high economic growth combined with high wages. In 1789, inspired by the French Revolution, the Brabant Revolution broke out against Austrian rule. Rebels briefly established the United States of Belgium, along with the Prince-Bishopric of Liège, but this first Belgian state was crushed by Habsburg forces by 1790. French period and United Kingdom of the Netherlands. The French Revolutionary Wars brought French annexation in 1795. While French rule introduced legal equality and administrative modernization, it also brought heavy taxation, conscription, and religious repression. The Flemish Peasants' War of 1798 against French conscription marks the starting point of the modern Flemish movement. After Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo in 1815, the Congress of Vienna united the former Austrian Netherlands with the Dutch Republic, creating the United Kingdom of the Netherlands under King William I. This artificial union proved unstable due to religious differences, the predominantly Catholic South chafing under Protestant Dutch rule, and linguistic and economic disparities. Belgian Revolution and Independence. The spark came in August 1830, when a performance of the opera La Muette de Portici at Brussels' La Monnaie Opera House sparked patriotic demonstrations that escalated into revolution. Though the Dutch sent in troops, they faced determined resistance from Belgian revolutionaries and eventually withdrew. On October 4, 1830, Belgium declared independence. The great powers of Europe, Britain, France, Prussia, Austria, and Russia, recognized Belgian neutrality through the 1839 Treaty of London, though Belgium lost territories including parts of Luxembourg and Limburg. Leopold I of Saxe-Coburg was inaugurated as the first King of the Belgians on July 21, 1831, a date still celebrated as Belgium's national holiday. Industrial Revolution. Belgium became the second country after Britain to experience the Industrial Revolution. Rich coal deposits in Wallonia fueled rapid industrialization, particularly in the Sillen Industrial or Industrial Valley that ran through southern Belgium. Entrepreneurs like Englishman John Cockerill established integrated factories in places like Suriname that combined all stages of production. The steel and textile industries flourished, making Belgium a major economic power despite its small size. Leopold I built the first railway on the European continent in 1835, running between Brussels and Mechelen. This expanded into a comprehensive rail network that connected major cities, ports, and mining areas. By the early 20th century, Belgium was exporting railway technology around the world. Colonial Empire. If you're enjoying this journey through Belgian history, please take a moment to like this video, share it with anyone interested in European history, and subscribe to World History Explored for more in-depth historical content like this. Your support helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate it. In 1885, King Leopold established the Congo Free State as his personal possession. While initially portrayed as a humanitarian and free trade venture, it became infamous for brutal exploitation of the Congolese people to extract rubber and other resources. The atrocities committed under Leopold's rule. including forced labor, hostage-taking, and mutilation as punishment for failing to meet rubber quotas led to international outcry. Estimates suggest that the population of the Congo fell by as many as 10 million people during this period. In 1908, in response to international pressure, the Belgian parliament annexed the Congo Free State, creating the Belgian Congo. Though conditions improved somewhat, Belgium made little progress on political rights for the Congolese until the mid-1950s. World War I. Despite Belgian neutrality being guaranteed by the Great Powers, Germany invaded Belgium in August 1914 as part of the Schlieffen Plan to quickly reach Paris. The Belgian army, though vastly outnumbered, put up stubborn resistance, delaying the German advance and giving France and Britain valuable time to prepare their defenses. The German occupation was harsh, with civilians executed, prominent Belgians deported, and resources systematically stripped from the country. Food shortages led to the creation of the Commission for Relief in Belgium under American Herbert Hoover, which organized unprecedented international humanitarian relief. By the war's end, Belgium was devastated economically, with machinery and factories dismantled and shipped to Germany. However, the country recovered quickly, hosting the 1920 Olympics in Antwerp. Interwar period. The interwar years saw Belgium rebuilding and continuing to develop culturally. Expressionist painters like James Ensor and René Magritte gained recognition, while the comic strip emerged as a distinctly Belgian art form with the creation of characters like Tintin by Hergé in 1929. Politically, the period was marked by linguistic tensions between Dutch-speaking Flanders and French-speaking Wallonia. Laws in the 1920s and 1930s established linguistic equality, making Dutch the language of government, education, and courts in Flanders, while French remained official in Wallonia. Brussels became officially bilingual. World War II. Despite attempts to remain neutral, Belgium was again invaded by Germany on May 10, 1940. After 18 days of fighting, Belgian forces surrendered, and King Leopold I was taken prisoner. The elected government fled to form a government in exile in London. The German occupation brought severe hardship, with food and fuel shortages. The Holocaust claimed the lives of nearly 25,000 Jews deported from Belgian territory, primarily through the transit camp at Mechelen. Resistance to the occupiers took many forms, from helping Allied airmen escape, to sabotage, to hiding Jews and political dissidents. The Comet escape line alone helped evacuate an estimated 14,000 Allied airmen to Gibraltar. Belgium was finally liberated in September 1944, though fighting continued during the Battle of the Scheldt and the Ardennes Offensive. Battle of the Bulge, in the winter of 1944-45. Post-war period. The immediate post-war period was marked by the royal question, whether King Leopold I, who had surrendered to the Germans and remained in Belgium during the occupation, should return to power. After a narrow referendum in his favor sparked widespread protests, Leopold abdicated in 1951 in favor of his son Baudouin. Belgium played a key role in post-war European integration. It was a founding member of the Benelux Customs Union in 1944, NATO in 1949, the European Coal and Steel Community in 1952, and the European Economic Community in 1957. The country experienced an economic miracle in the post-war years, with high growth rates and rising living standards. However, this prosperity was not evenly distributed, and the traditional coal and steel industries of Wallonia began to decline while Flanders experienced increasing industrialization. The Congo crisis. In 1960, following riots and growing pressure for decolonization, Belgium granted independence to the Congo, which became the Republic of Congo under Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba. However, the rapid transition to independence led to chaos, with mutinies in the Congolese army and the secession of the mineral-rich Katanga province with Belgian support. The resulting Congo crisis saw the assassination of Lumumba and the rise to power of Joseph Mobutu. Belgian paratroopers intervened in Operation Dragon Rouge in 1964 to rescue hostages in Stanleyville. The crisis damaged Belgium's international reputation and cast a long shadow over Belgian-Congolese relations. Federalization. Domestic tensions over language and regional economic disparities led to a series of state reforms beginning in 1970. These gradually transformed Belgium from a unitary state into a federal one composed of 3 regions: Flanders, Wallonia, and Brussels capital, and 3 communities: Dutch-speaking, French-speaking, and German-speaking. The process continued through 6 state reforms between 1970 and 2011, each transferring more powers from the federal government to the regions and communities. Today, Belgium is a complex federal state with multiple levels of government, each with significant autonomy. Recent history. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, Belgium has faced numerous challenges. The Marc Dutroux scandal in the 1990s shook public confidence in the justice system. Economic issues, including high public debt, have required painful austerity measures. Political fragmentation has increased with the rise of regionalist and nationalist parties, particularly in Flanders. After the 2010 elections, Belgium set a world record by taking 541 days to form a government, highlighting the difficulties of coalition building in this divided nation. Despite these challenges, Belgium remains at the heart of European integration, hosting the headquarters of both the European Union and NATO in Brussels. Its economy has diversified away from traditional heavy industry towards services and high-tech sectors. Conclusion. Belgium's history is a testament to the resilience of a small nation at the crossroads of Europe. From ancient tribal settlements to Roman province, from medieval splendor to industrial powerhouse, from colonial power to founding member of the European Union, Belgium has constantly reinvented itself while maintaining its distinct identity. Today's Belgium is a complex, multicultural federal state that continues to grapple with its linguistic divisions, its colonial past, and its place in a changing Europe. Yet it remains a vibrant center of culture, commerce, and international diplomacy, truly the heart of Europe. If you enjoyed this journey through Belgian history, please like this video and subscribe to World History Explored for more deep dives into the fascinating stories of nations around the world. Next week, we'll be exploring the history of Ukraine,